morning, my dear students. Welcome you all back to social class. We are dealing with the history chapter, that is the socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. So now we are moving into the fourth module, that is what changes after the October Revolution happened. So there was a lot of changes which was brought after the October Revolution. That is, you can find the first thing that was brought by the Bolsheviks is the opposition towards the private properties was being done. And as he was saying, three demands, that is the April thesis, which was being formed by the Lenin thesis, right? That is the aspect like most industries and the banks were being nationalized, that was being brought into existence. And the next thing is that the land was made as the properties of the peasants. Okay, so the land was being taken, which have been seized from the nobles, and it has been declared as the social property for the peasants. And also the government took up the ownership and the management. Similarly, there was also one more change which was being brought. The uniforms of the army men were being changed. So they were being given a new uniform, and for that they had a competition which was held in the year of 1918. Okay, and this was been a great thing which was being done by the Bolsheviks towards the October Revolution. Okay, the next thing what happened means the Bolsheviks party was renamed as the Russian Congress Party, and it was happening in the year of November 1917. Okay, so 1917 they renamed it as the Russian Communist Party. So during that time they had a general election which has been held, and the Constitutional Assembly. The Bolsheviks, they conducted an election to the Constitutional Assembly, but in that you can find that the Russian Congress Party did not win. So assembly was rejected by the Bolsheviks. So they don't want this assembly to continue. In the year of 1918, by January they decided not to exist. And also you can see that the assembly rejected them, and he brought an all Russian Congress Soviet, and he felt that that is the only democratic form of government which has been there. None other than any party can perform in this manner. So in March 1918, despite opposition by the political alliance, Bolsheviks made peace with the Germany. So he is trying to make peace with German nations by the betrayed Levort is a person. Okay, in the following years you can find still more changes which has been brought by him. So Bolsheviks became only party to participate in the election. So because of which you can find that still Russia remains a single party system, and it also allows the trade union to have their own unions. It's being along with the Bolsheviks party, that is the all Russian Congress Soviet. So along with that they are forming this. And similarly you can find that police were being kept secretly in the name of the Czech fast. Later it is known as OGPU and NKVD, and punished those who are criticizing the Bolsheviks. They were being severely punished, and the artists and the musicians, they were been rallying for the parties, rallying to the party because it stood for the socialism and changes. But there was one drawback which was also existing in this, is that you can find the drawback is it did not allow anyone to criticize upon it, and the censorship was been remaining on the criticism aspects. So if you see what changes that has been brought in after October Revolution, is that the Bolsheviks were been opposing the private property. We'll have a quick recap. Okay, No, they are supposed to oppose the private properties, and they made the industries and the banks nationalized, and the government took up the ownership and the management aspects. Then the land was being declared as a social property, and the land which was under the control of it, the nobles, were being seized and given into the hands of the peasants. And here the Bolsheviks even reinforced the families which have been having houses, no, large houses to be partitioned and given. And they banned one thing, that is, you can see, they banned the old title of aristocracy which was being banned by them, and they changed even the uniforms of the army men's, and they had an competition which was being held for the cloth competition in the year of 1918. This is one side where it is happening. The other side, the Bolsheviks party was renamed as the Russian Communist Party. So this Russian Communist Party was being brought as in November 1970. They are conducting, Bolshevik is conducting an council election in which you can find that the Bolsheviks party did not get majority of its own seat, and it is rejecting the Russian Congress Party, and this rejection happens in the month of January 1918. And he felt that other than the Russian, all Russian Congress Soviet, none other the party is democratic, so they are along even with the certain opposition. He is forming an alliance with the German leader. Okay, so then you can find the next month you can find what happened next year. What happens is that he is continuing to have a single party in Russia. So still now single party is only existing, and trade unions are being formed, and trade unions are being very closer to the all Russian Soviet party. Okay, and also you can see that they allowed the policemen to have in secret function like spy system was existing, and those who are criticizing the Bolsheviks were being punished severely. The artists, musicians have rallied towards these parties because there was been a socialism which is brought by them and changes which were being brought by them. But one drawback that you can find here is they did not allow them to have a criticism about the aspect like Bolsheviks. Okay, so this is what is about what is after October. Okay, my dear students, the remaining we'll see in the next class. Thank you, my dear students.